You know what really grinds my gears?
I know some people don't like you to talk about those things. I know that. Some people don't like you to mention certain things. Some people don't want you to say this. Some people don't want you to say that. Some people think if you mention some things, they might happen. Some people are really fucking stupid.
Welcome to I Don't Give a
Podcast.
Your host for the podcast, Salvador.
What's up, you boys and girls? This is your host, Sal. And welcome to I Don't Give a Damn Podcast. You know what the show's about. Not me giving a damn. I talk whatever I want, say what I want, do what I want. I'm the boss, I'm the CEO, I'm the guy who runs the show here. I do what I want, I say what I want. You got that? Today is a special day. Cause when this episode comes out, it's gonna be on Valentine's Day. You know what that fucking means? All your boys, your wallet to be empty. You're gonna buy fucking a lot of flowers. Gonna die in 2 days. Buy some chocolates. You're gonna get fat, and you're gonna blame me later. You know how the shit goes. You just do this to get a little snooky tonight. You know what I mean? And you girls, don't play it off as it's not like a benefit day. You know what it means. You're gonna get some flowers, you get a perfume, you get some gifts, but you gotta give it up. And some of you girls like, why not give it up? Come on. Be real with here. This day is the day. It's the day we all it's like agreement. I'll give you flowers. I'll take you out to dinner. I'll give you chocolate. I'll give you a copy of a piece of poem and send it to you. And I'm gonna get some little snooky. But I bet you some of you girls want like, no, my man's romantic. He's so good. He treats me right. No. You girls think you guys like this.
Beautiful girls, they only wanna do you dirt. They'll have you suicidal when they say it's over.
J.R. Sean Kingston.
You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You have me suicidal when you say it's over. Damn all these
And let's get this shit straight. No guys is really like goddamn that. By the way, that's Sean Kingston, and that's a fucking classic song of my time. You know what? Every girl wants a guy to be romantic, be generally self, but we guys are savages. Every guy's is a filthy goddamn animal. That's what we call us dogs. We eat, we fight, we fuck. That's what we do. All that we were bred to do. And which y'all look romantic? He's either a gay guy or he's your friend. Now let's talk about the other side. You know the guys we're looking for on Valentine's Day? We ain't really looking for romantics. We're looking for some pie. Some.
She's my cherry pie. Proving the world such a sweet surprise. Tastes so good, make it boom and cry. Sweet cherry pie.
Half of you guys will get that reference. We want a girl like that's gonna knock your boots off. You're gonna make you sweat and give you a heart attack tonight. You get what I mean, boys. Alright. Enough lonely talk or Valentine's Day. Let's start our stories up, you know. Let's get this shit rolling. Our first story is gonna be a weird one, guys. About these two couples. Fake an engagement to get free drinks. You gotta listen to this stupidity. I think it's genius. Get a free drink. Let's hear the story out.
A couple fake engagement to get free drinks from strangers in bars. Corinne Miller and Adam Carroll faked a proposal just 1 month into their relationship to bag free drinks from strangers in 2 bars, but now he's popped the question for real. A couple who fancied saving some cash on their travels came up with a devious plan to ensure they didn't pay for a drink all night. Corinne Miller and her boyfriend Adam Carroll went on a trip to Atlanta to celebrate her birthday just 1 month into their relationship. Despite it being very early days, they decided to fake a marriage proposal in a bar in full view of other revelers who would want to celebrate the moment with them. The couple from Alabama even roped in one of the bartenders and another drinker to go along with the cheeky con to make sure it all went off without a hitch.
Damn! Imagine having a bad girl like that, a down chick to help you get free drinks. I can't be mad they're doing a little ass con. A free drink's a free drink. You know, on your vacation, you don't want to spend that much money. But they're smart as hell. How many girls you know would do that shit? But low-key, though, like, That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't believe so much people want to do shit like that. You know what? You two, you get approval. You got approval of this podcast. You get an A-OK, thumbs up. It's not really a story. It's more like a con. Shit, I can think a lot of people do. You know for a fact now, someone's gonna try to do that shit after they listen to this podcast. You gotta get a free drink this Friday. Valentine's Day, you guys gonna get shots. You're gonna get fucking blasted. Look, a motherfucker. All right, guys, it's not really a store. It's more like a hustle. Let's move on to something unique, crazy, weird.
In remote eastern Oregon, a serial crime is unfolding. Someone is killing purebred bulls, and they're doing it with a level of cruel precision that unnerves ranchers and law enforcement. Northwest News Network's Anna King reports, and a warning to listeners, this story includes descriptions of cattle mutilation.
North of Burns, Oregon, dust from hooves creates a fog in the early light. A cowboy calls his cattle dogs as they flank the herd. Sylvie's Valley Ranch is nearly the size of Chicago. This summer, 5 young bulls were killed in remote areas here.
So we're driving in on a Forest Service 2-track dirt road.
That's Colby Marshall, vice president of the ranch. He's heading out to one of the bull carcasses. It's an eerie scene. The dead bull looks like a giant deflated plush toy. It smells. Scavengers haven't touched it. The bull's red coat is as shiny as if he were going to the county fair, but he's missing his tongue, genitals, and all his blood. Marshall says the ranch's young animals were just reaching their top value as breeding bulls when they were killed. Each is worth about $6,000. Worth even more, the hundreds of thousands of dollars of future calves they won't sire. And Marshall says the ranch isn't just worried about the money. Now, staff are required to ride in pairs and encouraged to carry arms.
If some person or persons has the ability to take down a 2,000-pound range bull, it's not inconceivable that they wouldn't have a lot of problems dealing with a 180-pound cowboy.
Calls and tips from all over the country have been coming into the Harney County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Dan Jenkins has been working the case.
Everybody's got stories, but so far there's very little evidence.
Jenkins says it's clear the bulls weren't shot. He's also ruled out bears, wolves, cougars, and poisonous plants. Other theories are even stranger.
There has been things where people have said they found satanic altars, or what they believed were satanic or occult type altars, stone altars with pentagrams and different geometric symbols, candles. But it's definitely very frustrating, and it's been going on basically since the 70s.
Since then, there have been reports like this from all over the country, as far away as Kansas and Texas. But these in Oregon are new. 3 hours north of Sylvie's, outside of Pendleton, Oregon, Terry Anderson has just fixed his irrigation system.
Cows just rub on stuff for the heck of it. They love to scratch.
Back in the 1980s, one of this rancher's cows was mysteriously killed overnight. Anderson found her dead, her udder removed with something razor sharp.
And not one drop of blood anywhere.
When Anderson heard of these fresh cases, he called down to Sylvie's to let them know they weren't the only ones. Anderson says the killing is so weird and disturbing, he's never gotten over it, even after all these years.
It's just left a really strange feeling with me since that day. You can't explain it, and no one else has been able to explain it.
The sheriff continues to investigate the killings, and Sylvie's Ranch has put up a $25,000 reward for information that could solve the case. For NPR News, I'm Anna King, outside of Pendleton, Oregon.
Wow, that sounds crazy. It almost sounds like a chupacabra, but that's a Mexican goat eater. It's like eat your goat's blood and creepy as shit. That's cryptid. That's a whole different topic I don't want to talk about. Because it'd be love today. I don't know why I choose a story about fucking cows getting eaten like that. It's a lot of shit in this world you can't explain. Like why most guys can't get a girlfriend even though they act nice and act sweet, act the way she wants them to act, and she still calls them her friend. That's me. I don't know why. A lot of great mysteries in the world. Like why chicks always want to date assholes cheats on them and treat them like shit, but yet she doesn't want to date the guy who treated her nice and calls him a friend. That's a whole different story. That she don't relate. I'm just saying, there's a lot of weird shit in this world. Back to the story. It could be a coyote. It could be anything that killed this fucking cow. But still, it's crazy though. There's no blood and shit. It's still crazy though. You know what? This is one of those mysteries in life no one's gonna know about until they actually see them themselves. Crazy, 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 crazy. You know what, guys? Let's get off the topic and let's do something more, more fun. What's the next story gonna be about? I think it's about something about poop. Let's find out.
Tonight in Rochester, Minnesota, residents will look to the sky and see some very unwelcome guests. Thousands of crows threatening to shower waste on the city's downtown. As Minnesota Public Radio's Catherine Richert reports, chasing them away falls to a dedicated band of city workers.
If you're in downtown Rochester around dusk tonight and nearly every night this winter, you'll see this. Thousands of black crows animating the night sky, flying in from all directions and calling to each other as they look for places to perch. The crows come here every winter, and with them, their poop. Left unchecked, all that crow waste could create a mess for city residents as well as staff and patients at the sprawling Mayo Clinic campus.
It's a constant battle to keep the sidewalks clean, to keep the cars clean.
That's Barry Witchke. He's among a handful of city employees standing in the way of the poopy chaos every night, all winter.
Just because it is such a problem.
It's gross.
It is gross. And they have tried banging pots and pans together. They were netting the trees and just nothing seemed to be working until we finally went to using starter pistols and green laser beams.
The Crow Patrol's cache of tools also includes a distress call machine that sounds like this. Crows are big birds. They average about 17 inches long with a wingspan that can stretch to 3 feet. They're widely considered to be among the world's most intelligent birds. They prefer grassy, open areas where they can forage for grains, nuts, and even small animals. This night, the crows are just starting to arrive for the season, so Barry Witchke and his team will spend a lot of time figuring out where the crows congregate before swarming downtown. Naturally, it's the local cemetery, and it's noisy here as thousands of crows perch in trees, cutting sharp silhouettes against the gray, late fall sky. We stop there to test the crows' reaction to the starter pistol. They take off instantly. Kaylee Swift studies crows at the University of Washington and is amused to hear that they congregate in Rochester Cemetery.
It's a very convenient coincidence, but it has a lot less to do with crows intuiting the function of cemeteries as it does cemeteries just make really nice staging areas.
Swift says big, loud crow gatherings happen right before the birds head to their roosts to sleep. The gatherings likely serve a social purpose.
Maybe it is a way for crows to meet potential mates, for example, or reconnect with individuals that they haven't seen for a long time.
But it's something of a mystery as to why crows flock to urban centers in the winter. Swift says one possibility is that the environment provides warmth on cold Minnesota nights. But she says crows will eventually learn that starter guns and lasers signal danger. Back in Rochester, Parks employee Don Eust is patrolling a street of popular restaurants and bars.
This was the hot spot last night.
He spots a tree filled with crows and blares a cacophony of crow calls from the back of his truck. It doesn't work, so he shines a laser at them, but only a few fly off. Finally, Eust whips out his last resort, his starter gun. That scares all but one bird.
You'll get that stubborn one that will not leave no matter what you do. It's like, I found my home for the night, leave me alone.
It may take a few weeks or longer, but Eust says the crows will eventually learn to stay on the outskirts of downtown, at least for this winter. For NPR News, I'm Catherine Richert in Rochester, Minnesota.
These birds do not give a fuck. They want to take a shit. They take a shit everywhere they want to take a shit, guys. Imagine they use a goddamn starter pistol. They won't fucking move. They were not scared. They ain't afraid to get blasted. They ain't afraid. They're about that life. They're about that thug life right here. Crow 100. You know what that means? This is crazy. Fuck. You ever go walk by? They go walk in the park and a bird take a shit on you. That's supposed to be good luck. What happened if 1,000 birds take a shit out of you? You're a fucking millionaire. You're the greatest person in the world. It's dumb. But it's kind of funny, though. Man, I just want to be that guy who cleans bird shit. You know, bird shit is like white, fucking green, fucking, yeah. Imagine that's your job. Imagine that's your job every day to clean that shit. Nasty as shit. Well, guys, that's a terrible job. If you're doing that job, I salute you. You give me 100. But fuck, that's dirty work, man. That's really dirty ass work. You know, guys, this like last week. I know last week's episode was kind of short. I didn't really did anything. That was my first attempt. This is gonna be it's gonna be better. Every episode will be better. We escalate to the greater, to great, one step forward. You know what I mean? Let's do this. My word of advice before I leave you guys at the end of this episode: never not take shit for anyone. Life's too fucking short. If you had a shitty job and you're like, oh fuck, I'm stuck here. Remember, there's a lot of other jobs to do. But you know what? I know, but you're like, oh, I gotta pay bills. I understand that. But remember, if you keep complaining and stay in one place, nothing will change. By the way, I've been reading a book lately. It's called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It's a pretty good book. You guys should check it out. I actually hear the audiobook. It just drives you to be better. They talked about that destiny's a lie. You can forge your own future by doing one step forward, one step at a time. It's a pretty good book, guys. You should check it out. And all you lonely fuckers, you're not gonna have nothing for Valentine's Day, have no date. Just hear the podcast, have fun. You know what, guys? Play some video games. Just be active. Just be having fun. Just go out and talk to a chick on the bar. You know, you're not the only one to be lonely on Valentine's Day. There's only be girls that be lonely on Valentine's Day. You know what, guys, girls? I'll see you next time. Have fun. Have a safe night. Drink, party. Do whatever you want. Be cool. By the way, if you guys you want to hit me up, hit my Instagram, Mr. Noxo, Instagram or Twitter, Mr. Noxo. I'll leave the my info in the description. I'll see you next time. Okay? See ya. Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Sal. If you like today's episode, I Don't Give a Damn podcast. Remember to subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, or whatever you listen to. I don't give a damn. You want to leave me a review? I'll read it. Maybe not. Maybe. You want to follow me on social media? I'll leave it in the description. I'll see you next time, guys. Remember, you don't give a damn.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
I really hope you liked the video. If you like it, leave a like and hit the notifications bell and subscribe to stay up to date. Thank you. See you next time.